Well, hello there. My name is HW.
Hey, I'm the Suze.
And thank you so much for watching Tone Junkie TV. Suze, if the people like the channel, what should they do?
There's a like button.
There is.
There's a subscribe.
You can even hit the notification bell if for some reason you want to be bothered at the moment we upload a video.
Stop what you're doing.
Stop. Video on demand is very unpopular these days. We want to be interrupted. We want to watch on someone else's schedule.
Yeah.
Okay, enough with that. Please like and subscribe if you get anything out of the channel, Tone Junkie videos. That was beautiful.
Oh, thanks.
That was a 57 Tweed Band I2. Look at this thing.
This guy.
This cab is so beautiful. I might just keep it around just to keep it in every video.
Could you sell that chassis and just keep this empty cabinet? Would
No.
someone even buy that?
No.
Okay.
I mean, someone would buy it. It has value. But I mean, that is a crime.
It's ridiculous.
To separate
Yeah.
a 63-year-old amp from its cab.
Right, just a
with
5 and
original
7.
speakers.
Yeah.
You can't do that. You go to jail for that.
For
Tone jail.
For the love of amps.
Yeah. If there's tone police,
Uh-huh.
that's what they should be focusing
They
on.
blow their whistle.
Yeah. People who are like today converting like P90 Les Pauls from the 50s to humbuckers,
Oh, yeah.
jail. You want to like, now a burst conversion's okay,
Right.
but don't do it to a guitar now.
Like, would they find you if you put lace sensors in Goldie?
No, because you could put it back.
Okay.
But like the people who took 60 Strats and hollowed them out and put a Floyd Rose, or they hollowed them out and put even putting a humbucker maybe wasn't as bad because it's at least under the pick guard and stuff.
Wow.
But
That's not good.
It's like people who scalloped out the necks. Now you got to fill it back
right
in.
back in.
You got to fill it back in
Oh
for
my
the tone.
gosh. So leave it like it is.
Please
Yeah.
leave it like it is. We're not specifically talking about the Fender Bandmaster, the 57 Tweed Band pack today, but it is
Sounds
awesome.
wonderful.
But I want to use these to illustrate a point about tone being an equation, and I think this is an amp that has kind of multiple voices. So let me set the stage. Here, actually, let's do this. Why don't you just do what the Suze does? Just play something really beautiful on this guitar. I'm going to set you up with a really clean sort of, here is 57 Tweed Band I1. Now, I in this case is instrument channel. It's the guitar voice channel. Back then, they didn't even do normal and bright yet. It was microphone and instrument because you sing and play the guitar.
Right.
So here's real clean. I'll just put on a little delay and let's just do a little experiment. Because sometimes people reach out to me and they go, hey, I have a really high quality guitar and it doesn't, when I downloaded your pack, it didn't sound like the demo. And I always go, well, we don't put any EQ on anything. We don't even put a compressor on it. Like I compress the vocals in these videos. But all I do is just level the guitar up.
Right.
You know what I mean? Just get it kind of at an even volume. Now, there's YouTube compression, there's Facebook compression. People listen on different devices. Obviously, iPhones are not known for like theater quality sound, but they sound good, and that's how people consume, media today. So, play something beautiful. This is an Eastman with Lawler P90 pickups. It's beautiful. This is a 57 Tweed Bandmaster on a pretty, like the volume's on like 3 on the amp in this profile. Check that out. That is lovely.
Yeah.
It's beautiful. It's clean. Like, describe that sound.
Full, not harsh.
Yeah.
This guitar is very like acousticy.
Yeah.
And I think that just makes it louder, like amplifies that pureness of the sound.
And those P90s sound like big single coils.
Yeah.
So they have a lot of high-end snap. But they're full, and that guitar brings a sort of, woody, hollowy quality to it. Okay, magic trick time. Now, I'm going to give you a completely different guitar, and I want you to play the same thing. In fact, just for science, play that again. Just play what you played again with this guitar so we can really hear what it sounds like.
All right.
Okay, ready? I mean, look at that. Magic.
Yeah.
We transformed that old kind of sound, that vintagey hollow body, into something far more modern.
Far.
Now, we were using both pickups, neck and middle. And those are P90s. It's a hollow body. Very different instruments. Like, very little in common, except they are guitars.
6 strings.
A trem.
Wiggle stick.
Pickups. Play the exact same thing. We've touched nothing on the Kemper. Listen to this tone. Very different.
Yeah, just like kind of bright, metallic-y, kind of, yeah, just like kind of thinned out all around.
Yeah.
It doesn't have that fullness.
Now, for me, this is a really great guitar, and I've kept this guitar for a long time because I love the flatter radius neck. It's kind of like my shred guitar, you know? If I just want to play any sort of legato or 3-note per string type licks, I grab this guitar.
Yeah.
I've used it on demos and stuff, and I'd use it to hear a more modern sound, you know? This is not the type of guitar that you commonly pair with this amp, right?
Yeah.
But it goes to show, like, what does that mean about, does the Bandmaster, does it sound thin? You know what I mean? Are these thin profiles?
Right.
But that sounded thinner. It is the high end a little more spiky and strident, but it is with this guitar. So I don't want to be misunderstood, right? What we're trying to say is tone is an equation. I'm not saying you need that guitar that we played, that Eastman, to sound good. Because truthfully, until you came over just now, I've never played that Eastman through these profiles. I never picked it up when I was profiling the amp. We didn't do it. I don't even think we put that guitar in the demo. You know, did we put it in the demo? No. We just picked, after we were done, I profiled the amp. I've been playing around with it, made some videos. You came over, we did a whole demo. I'm doing something else. You picked up that guitar and goes, "This sounds lovely." And that is really the story, I think, for me, of all these profiles, and for my experience with the Kemper is, or just any gear.
Right.
It's an equation. So it might, now there's a huge part of the equation, but if we put in different variables, we're going to get different things out. So let's get into even more the nitty-gritty of this idea, which is, let's find, like, this is a fairly, to me, bright-ish, clean profile. This is kind of as bright and clean as the amp gets.
Right.
Okay. Yeah. So we've done some other videos where we show, and let's do that. Let's bust out a Strat and show you some different tones, and we'll compare it to this guitar.
Sure.
So that was a little bright. Now let's go to something, because these are modern pickups, right? So now let's go to something thicker and a little dirtier, and let's listen to this on a Strat. Let's compare 2 Strats now, a modern one and a vintage one. So here is FM3, right? And let's go on the number 2 position, kind of both single coils. There you go. This is FM3, so this is a fat head. It's a fat mic, so it's real thick in the low end, and it's the microphone channel of the amp. So it's less presence. So this is kind of the fattest sound we're going to get, right? So this is a high-quality guitar. These are high-quality pickups. These are Sir pickups. That is an SSH and a JS single coil. They're great pickups. Play something for us on this with the FM3, a thick sound, and then we're going to grab a completely different guitar and hear how it sounds very different. Ready?
Let's do it.
Look at that.
Wow.
That red, modern rock machine is now a Liberace Gold Stratocaster. This is a 59 Journeyman Relic custom shop. It's got Fender dual mag pickups, hand wound. It sounds great. It sounds like this. Same pickup position. So number 2, so 2 singles in the bridge and middle. Thoughts?
I mean, well, the humbucker on that one.
Extra rocking.
Oh my gosh!
Yeah.
Like just, it sounds like we turned the profile down or we gained back the. You know what I mean? Like it's that much different. Yeah, I mean it's still really clear, like jangly.
Mm-hmm.
You know, has that kind of.
Did you find? Tell me the difference in the bridge that you found at playing those guitars. Are you saying that it sound with the red guitar with the Rasmus? It sounded like we had gained it up,
Yeah,
or that the gain is lower, right?
Yeah, like it was like we had a different profile,
right? So same profile, but with different pickups, we're perceiving dirtier and cleaner.
Totally.
And then I would say one thing that's really different is this profile is really meant for this guitar and for a Tele on the bridge, because I on purpose made this profile with the fat head and the mic channel, thinking this is the thickest we're gonna get, the fattest we're gonna get. What's this for? Well, how about that Strat bridge? Like, play that Strat just on the bridge again. Now that's a great sounding guitar, but throw this profile through your Strat bridge, and I think this thing is designed to fix a lot of problems that people have with Strat bridges.
Right.
They're thin. They're just not enough. Right. The challenge with the Strat bridge is you wish it was a Tele.
Yeah.
You know, that's always sort of I wish it was just more rock and Tele.
Right.
So this profile fixes that here, right? And it really lets this thing shine. It's darker and it's fat compared, and when you marry that in this equation with a thin pickup,
right,
it really works. But with that red guitar, with the Rasmus, it's like it didn't need all that. So you just get this extra gain, a little less clarity in the top end, a little more muffled.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
It's like this is the right profile for this guitar, but not the right profile for these other 4 guitars. You know, like that. There might be another profile that best suits that guitar or that guitar.
I 100% agree. The only caveat I'd add is right is a relative term.
Oh, totally, yeah.
You might enjoy the extra gain.
Right.
Because you might like more gain.
Yeah.
You might be someone who only plays really low output pickups because they love that. Like low output Strat pickups are in vogue right now. A bunch of Fender models. There's new Fender models pickups that are just lower wind versions of existing models, right? So like the El Diablos are the hot ones, and then they're all named after peppers. They're escaping me.
The Poblano.
Yeah, the Poblano. The Ancho Poblano is the regular one. I think or maybe it's the hot one. I can't remember.
Yeah.
But then there's the Tomatillos are just the underwound version of those same pickups.
Right, okay.
Right? So I think it's Ancho Poblano is the middle. I think there's like an El Diablo that's hotter, and then a Tomatillo that's lower. That's in vogue now in single coils. It's been a thing that guys like Jason Lawler and to a degree Seymour Duncan really sort of pioneered these low wind PAFs. Like, let's take a higher output thing but bring the output down and mimic some of the pickups that did that in the past. But it makes for a different thing.
Totally. Yeah.
And it makes a different output because the input's different. It's a different when you change the equation, the product is different.
Right. Yeah, I tend to even on my rig manager, I'll organize my profiles by guitar, and a lot of times it'll be the same packs. Like I've got my favorite, the Arshall pack or whatever it is, all the way down through the Tone Junkie stuff. but like the number of the profile or like what mic or whatever is usually different depending on if it's a Sir Telly or like the Gretsch or whatever it is.
Yeah.
So they're always floating around.
Yeah.
Because there's something in my head that like that's how that sounds with that guitar.
Yeah.
And they're hardly ever like always the third profile.
Right.
You know, for
right.
everything. So.
And to me, like, let's do Magic one more time.
Let's do it.
Ready? Whoa.
Whoa. It worked again.
Look at that. It's magic. The mystery Telly, people ask me about this all the time. It's a pine body. We think it's Lawler pickups. We really don't know. It's a beautiful guitar.
Look at this thing.
Sounds like $1 million.
Yeah.
I was joking for you. I got it for like $1,000. I could probably sell for $3,000 with all of the comments I get. Like, what is that Telly?
Right.
Or are you ever going to sell that Telly? Can I buy? But no, I'm going to keep it. This is like a forever guitar.
Oh,
it's been with me a long, long time.
Yeah. Like I might come over one day and like this would be gone. And you'll like ask me, have you seen my white Telly? And
Right,
it's like,
right.
I don't know.
This guitar is a guitar that can utilize this much low end, but doesn't always need it. But really, it's going to sound thick and fat. Throw it on the bridge of this guitar, and we're going to instantly get. Let me just point this out. We're doing ourselves favors here. Tweed Stuff loves single coils, bright things, because it has this low grunt, right? There's a reason Brian Setzer plays. He plays like a transitional bassman, but it has a similar grunt. Bonamassa gets these bursts with pretty low output pickups, but that tweed sound with the burst is then responsible for this very mid-rangey vocal quality. You know, so do these classically pair with things like an Ibanez Gem? No. Can you make it sound good with a Gem?
Yeah.
Yes, I believe you can. I think the trick would just be add some presence in low end.
Sure.
But anyway, let's hear this on the bridge. This is, again, a thick profile FM3. Let's hear what this sounds like.
Rockin'.
Compared to the Strat on the bridge, how does that feel?
A little less like pointed, you know. It's helped out by more frequencies, just more. I don't know, just solid all around.
Yeah,
you know,
it's a solid rock tone.
Yeah.
Now let's change the equation again. I'm gonna now put it on the amp's on the same settings. Sometimes people ask about the settings on. I profile this amp like straight up.
Oh.
I always ride the bass down as the volume goes up because you get more bass as gain goes up. Presence and treble were like always kind of near, and it just sounds phenomenal. There's a lot of things going on. Mics change. Now we're gonna change the mics. So different. We're gonna change the equation, right? Amp's the same. Guitar's the same. We're gonna change the mics. We're getting rid of that. We're gonna get rid of that fat head. Now it's a Royer in a 57. It's the instrument channel. So a little more bright. We're not going to get all that fat low end, but we still have this nice solid round bass on the bottom. Check this out. How's that?
Yeah, I mean, it's a little, like, the clarity, I think, went up a little bit, more string-like definition, less of that, like, rumble of the gain, you know?
You and me were describing the fat head. I described it in another video as disgustingly thick, right? You said, like, bloated was a word you used, and I think that's accurate, actually. It can sound bloated. With the Strat, that bloated frequency kind of cluster, that's a cool word, frequency cluster, and that like sort of bloatedness in the low mids, like in the lows going up, the fat quality of it really works with a Strat. But Tellys are sort of known for this very solid woody bass, and so when you get rid of all those extra low mids, you get now this EQ curve of this Royer, and you get it's still round, but it's much more solid. To me, what I hear is this solid bass and then a scoop out in these low mids, and then the mids come back in. Whereas the fat head is just the bass and the mids are all smeared together.
Right.
Everything low is just there.
Yeah.
But here it's like solid bass, get out of the way, mid-range, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah. So it's just a track. It's like what the amp is doing, what the microphones are doing,
What the
guitar
is doing.
Speaker, what the guitar
What the
sounds
guitar-
like, you know.
What the player is doing. We've
Yeah.
talked about picks a bunch. Tone is an equation.
Yeah.
And if you change any one variable, you know, the Hurtum picks are different than the Hercos. They're a heck of a lot different than the super hard Dunlop Altex 1.0s or 1.25s that I like, which is very different than your Fingers, you know? I really enjoy, the reason I like these hard picks is I enjoy going from pick to finger because it's so different.
Right.
You know, so I like that exaggerated nature of it.
Yeah.
You like the Hercos and the Hurtums, right? Everybody likes, you know, those. But
So
you
scratchy.
really use them all the time.
Yeah.
You know, and it's really part of your sound to use the scratchiness.
Yep.
That's
Yeah.
part
that's
of
a
the
variable.
equation. Yeah. With the Kemper, like the part of the equation I think really changes is the guitar. We can get into picks and stuff, but it's about, you know, what we didn't even get into preamps.
So many variables.
So many. Like, and I don't want to confuse people.
Yeah.
So I don't want it to be like, I really don't talk a ton about the preamps because I don't want it to be like, I know you did this amp with APIs, but have you thought about going back and doing it with something else? Because it's like, no, it's just a decision you make.
Oh, totally.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But they sound different. And they affect the way the mic sounds.
So, totally.
And then the mic affects the way it sounds. And then the mic position. Case in point. We've never done this before, but here's a single 906.
Just one mic.
One mic, because to me, here's a real part of the equation. I know what my amp, like this is how I used to always think about it. Now I'm very familiar with the mics I own. I've mic'd up so many amps with the mics I own. And I think any producer like is really familiar with their mic locker. I'm not a producer, but I'm a guy with a mic locker that mics up a lot of amps. But I used to be only familiar with a 57 and it was the 57 on the stage that I played every week.
Yeah.
And so I knew how my guitar sounded in my room, at home, and then I knew how my guitar sounded as soon as I put that 57 on.
Right.
And I knew how it sounded if I pointed it straight on or if I turned it a bit. So to me, the sound of a single dynamic microphone is the sound most people are used to when they play live. Like the sound you get in your in-ear monitors or the sound you get when it... Now, if you're on a stage with a loud amp, you're hearing the amp and you're hearing... And it's just a mess. It really is, right? But the sound they feed you back through your monitors or through the wedge is the sound of a single dynamic microphone. That's the sound we're all probably used to. It's a certain high mids, 2K push with some... It's not really warm in the bass, but there's bass. And it's good for a live mix.
Totally.
This is that sound.
Yeah.
And I told you the other day, it sounds like this is the sound of Sunday morning to me. Like when I hear this EQ curve, I think of being awake on Sunday morning. You mentioned coffee, and it's like, hey, morning. Everyone's a little tired, right? But this is what guitars sound like in that environment.
Right.
Check that out. Describe that.
It's like pretty, in terms of the tone junkie stuff, it's like a very focused like sound. It isn't maybe as like rich or full sounding. It's much more, you know, simple sounding. But the balance is great. You know, like the highs are there. It's not flubby on the low end. It's just like has a nice clarity to it, which is sounds killer.
That's an EQ curve that works in a mix, for sure, and that's why dynamic microphones are loved.
Right.
That's the mic that is on. I think they've used different stuff, but that pedal show is like at like 90-95% 906, right? So that is always an EQ curve that's over every tone you hear, right? The 57 is an EQ curve that's over every live tone you hear. That's part of the equation. And it's a huge part of the equation. Because no matter what speaker we're playing, no matter what amp we're playing, if we're always using the same microphone, we're always going to have that, right? Michael Britt, right, and me love that fat head. You're always going to get fatness in the low end, right? No one's going to... There's not fat head profiles. People are like, this is thin. It just... Or else the mic wasn't on.
Right, yeah.
You know?
Totally.
So, what are we saying? Go buy 1 million microphones, try everything, figure out the tone as an equation. But what we are saying is that it matters greatly how it all comes together. I really don't even... See, this is why I don't even like the term sweet spot. I just... It's because it's a moving target. Right? There's definitely... Like, when I think of sweet spot, I don't think of it as a spot on the EQ. Like, hey, here's my matchless, and let's put it here and here and here and here. That's a sweet spot. I feel like there's qualities in amps that are their sweet spot. Maybe it's a quality of the breakup, but that sweet spot on the gain can go up or down depending on if you've got a Strat or a Les Paul.
Right, yeah. Like John too always says, what are you optimizing for?
What are you optimizing for?
You know, it's like the amp doesn't know what it's going to get. You know, you have to.
Right.
And what we're saying about the Kemper, we would say about an amp in a room.
100%.
Like change the guitar, you're probably going to lean over.
Every signal chain. Every signal chain.
Yeah.
And the Kemper's ability to recreate studio signal chains. Now you're carrying with you an amp, multiple mics, preamps, those positions. It gives you more control over the tone. Right? It gives you more control over the equation, but you also have more variables. You know, you have less variable. Like, let me put it this way: there's more variables you can control, but it's also introducing new variables you might not have thought about.
Totally.
You know.
Yeah.
So whenever I get people going, and it doesn't happen a ton, but I would say 1 or 2 out of 100 people, I think, will message me and say, hey, I tried this pack, and they might have some problem or something. And they might say, you know, here's what I'm dealing with. And a lot of times I'm going, well, we're playing very different guitars, so let's make some adjustments to get there. Or what are you listening through?
Yeah, monitoring is huge.
Huge. Or try a different thing.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
And I'll say this about me personally, like, I sometimes I'll see like what tweaks are you making to profiles or what EQ blocks are you adding. For me personally, I like knowing that if I don't touch anything, that's how the amp sounded that day. And so I'll much more likely change a profile than ever go to the EQ. If I want it brighter, I'll even look for a different amp rather than start adding Kemper EQ. You know, that's a personal thing. Yeah. But that's the beauty of having that many profiles. It's like that's how many snapshots.
There's a lot to go with.
There's a lot to try out.
Okay, case in point. If you want to have some authentic sort of here is what the amp sounds like and here's what other things sound like. Let's go back to this I3 profile. Here's instrument channel, third profile. The amp's straight up, like the volume's straight up. Usually 3 I try to make straight up. So check this out and then we'll jump to the microphone channel and hear the difference. Okay, now I'm going to jump to same profile but microphone channel. Check that out. What'd you notice there?
Yeah, that's like hard to put into words. I don't know, that first one was a little bit like the chiminess was there and just the term clarity is sort of like, what does that mean?
Oh, yeah.
But just like, you know, it has a lot of definition, a lot of like schling to the sound, you know? Yeah. But that last one had a little bit more maybe covered or kind of like more
less presence.
Yeah, back in the mix.
Almost feels a little more compressed in a way.
Yeah.
A little just like like, I don't know, restrictive.
Yeah.
To me, I don't even hear really more mids, just less high end.
Yeah.
Little warmer thing. It's an equation.
Right.
That's a good example of an amp giving you two different things.
And that's just by moving the jack from one
channel to
input
another.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, tone is an equation, guys. If you get anything out of these videos, like, subscribe, and hit that little bell if you are feeling randy. I've been
good way of putting it.
I've been HW.
I'm the Suze.
Suze, play us out. I'll bring you to throw it on the bridge there, man. Let's give the people what they came for. Lots of delay and lots of gain. Maybe not lots of gain or lots of delay, but this is a good amount. This is one of my favorite sounds in here.
Nice.
There you go.
The i4.
The i4 Tele bridge, some delay. This is rock. Later, dudes.